The hosts of Bracketology are experts in nothing. They claim no advanced knowledge or profound insights. Instead, they are just three judgmental idiots who really like to bloviate their own opinions whenever given the chance. Take what they have to say with a grain of salt, or not at all. You'll probably be better off that way.
So I want to play a game with you guys.
Do you want to play a game?
I do want to play a game. The game is going to be based on a podcast that I've been listening to called An Unbelievable Truth. The Unbelievable Truth with David Mitchell. It's funny. It's also, I've only been able to watch it on, or listen to it on YouTube. However, it is hilarious. So the idea, I'm going to give a lecture about a topic. In that lecture, there are 5 facts that exist. Most of what the lecture has is all bullshit. It's all just me lying. Your goal, you two gentlemen, is to identify what are the true facts. And if you do, you get a point. If you misidentify, so if you say that something is true, but it's actually not true, then you lose a point. I get points for every truth that I sneak past you, and then we'll see who the winner is. Yes, Daniel?
2 questions. 1, how long is this lecture?
Not very.
Like 2 hours?
No, like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Max.
And 2, do we interject as you're speaking to identify these truths?
Yeah, so I'm going to be the lecturer and the judge. Okay, so with that being the case, I'm going to need a buzzer sound from either of you. You can just say your name. Say your own name, and that will be your buzzer sound.
Oh, I wanted to do it like a legit. Okay. Dan.
It's just easier for me to identify who has buzzed in if it's not a generic buzzer sound.
Okay. Dan.
All right. There you go. Scott, can I hear yours?
Scott!
There's a likely possibility Dan will be the one chosen. At the end, I will then calculate the points, and we will see who the winner is, and go from there.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So the topic for today's lecture is going to be candy.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Little topical.
It's fitting.
Little topical.
Kind of on the nose.
All right. Now I will say right up front, I wrote part of this, but I also had ChatGPT help me a little bit. Okay. So keep that in mind. Greetings, students. Today, we embark on a rigorously academic journey through the sticky, chewy, entirely factual history of candy. Candy, as you all know, was invented in 1972 by a bored hummingbird named Dennis. Prior to that, humans relied solely on licking rocks and imagining sugar. But once Dennis patented the sweet stuff, the world was forever changed. Our first sweet breakthrough came when the Aztecs began using chocolates as currency.
Scott! Aztecs definitely did use chocolate as currency.
The Aztecs did use chocolate as currency. That is correct. That is a point for Scott. The ancient Aztecs and Mayans valued cacao beans so highly they used them to pay taxes and trade. 100 beans could buy you a turkey.
It's not a pretty good ratio.
Right? Yeah. Our first sweet breakthrough came when the Aztecs began using chocolates as currency. But not just any chocolate. No, they used solid Hershey bars with QR codes. It is said that 100 Snicker bars could buy you a small llama or 2 tickets to a Mayan jazz concert. Some historians believe this may have contributed directly to the fall of the empire due to rampant nougat inflation. Now let's talk about chocolate's most embarrassing cousin, white chocolate. This imposter was created by alchemists who were trying to turn cocoa into gold, but accidentally removed all the actual chocolate. That's right, white chocolate isn't technically chocolate, but rather the emotional support butter of the confectionery world.
Scott!
Dan.
Scott.
It is correct that white chocolate is not technically chocolate.
That is correct. White chocolate contains zero
No
actual
cocoa butter.
cacao.
Yeah.
It is still legally banned from Swiss chocolate competitions and often travels with a fake passport. During World War II, sugar was scarce, but the military prioritized sweets. Why? Because generals knew that tanks ran better on nougat. That's why M&Ms were created for soldiers, engineered by NASA scientists to withstand hand sweat.
Dang.
Dan?
M&Ms were created for soldiers in World War II.
That is correct. Yes,
I would like
M&Ms
to-
were.
I'd like to point out that Dan did not do his proper ringing sound.
Well, sorry, I'm getting confused, and I forgot what it sounded like.
During World War II, the U.S. military commissioned M&Ms because the candy coating kept the chocolate from melting in soldiers' hands or gear. That is correct. So it's 2-1. Scott has 2. Dan has 1. I haven't gotten any incorrect buzzers yet. That's why M&Ms were created for soldiers, engineered by NASA scientists to withstand hand sweat, pocket lint, and emotional breakdowns. Early prototypes were tested by dropping them into volcanoes to ensure shell integrity. Even more strangely, Tootsie Rolls became battlefield legends. Not only were they edible, they were used to plug bullet holes, patch tires, and on occasion, perform emergency dental work. Yes, Tootsie Rolls were in soldiers' rations, not because they were delicious, but because they were basically edible duct tape. In fact, military engineers briefly considered building entire tanks out of compressed Tootsie Rolls before realizing they melted under direct sunlight.
Scott, I think the part about Tootsie Rolls actually being in rations and being able to be used to patch bullet holes is true.
Actually, that is correct.
Damn.
Tootsie Rolls were part of soldiers' rations in World War II and the Korean War. They were valued for their durability in all climates. And in one famous case, U.S. Marines used boxes of Tootsie Rolls to plug bullet holes in fuel lines during the Korean War. So not bullet holes in people.
No, I didn't figure in people. I assumed in like walls or something, you know.
I need 100 cc's of Tootsie Roll. Stat!
All right, now perhaps the most shocking tale of all, the invention of cotton candy. You'd think it was created by unicorns or carnival wizards, but no, it was invented by a dentist.
Scott, that is 100% true. Cotton candy was invented by a dentist.
Dr. William Morrison, DDS, helped to invent, they co-invented cotton candy.
If I had taken some time to think about it, I probably could have pulled that name out.
Yeah, okay, I believe
I'm just
you.
saying, I don't know why, but I know that.
He apparently thought, what if I create a treat that ensures job security for the next century? Some speculate he also pioneered early floss sales as a side hustle. And just to clarify a common misconception, no, the red dye used in cherry lollipops is not made from beets or strawberries. It is legally classified as flavor red number 37, which according to the FDA documents is 3% fruit and 97% ambition. So remember, dear students, candy has shaped wars, economies, and dental plans. And if anyone tells you otherwise, just tell them you heard it from Professor Sweetums, the most reliable source since Wikipedia's cousin, Wrongopedia. Class dismissed.
I will be calling you Professor Sweetums from now on.
We have a clear winner. Scott won 4-1. Neither of you got any incorrect, which is upsetting because I thought that some of them were a little bit more plausible than others.
I feel like ChatGPT made your lies a little outlandish.
The diabetes is strong with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, count on me to know random useless facts. That's why it was invented by a dentist. That's why it was originally called candy floss.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of places still has that name or something completely different. Like England calls it, oh shit, what do they call it? It's something floss. It's not candy floss.
Fairy floss.
Fairy floss. That's what it is.
Again,
Yeah.
Why do I know this? I don't know. I could store important information up here, like my kids' birthdays, but no. I know candy floss and fairy floss. Hello and welcome back to Bracketology, the podcast that definitively decides all things tournament bracket style. I am legally barred from shaking my Laffy Taffy in 22 states. I am Scott Grubb.
Also known as Duke Nougat, I am Matt Robinson.
First I'm sour, then I'm more sour. I'm Dan Default.
This week, we continue our candy versus chocolate bracket. We have made it into round 2 for this showdown here. Again, quick rundown of how this bracket's a little different. On the left side, we've got all of our chocolate options. On the right side, we've got all of our candy options. It's chocolate versus chocolate until the very end, candy versus candy till the very end, and then we pick an ultimate winner, the best chocolate versus the best of candy. Gentlemen, where should we begin today?
I think we should start on the candy side and just get this travesty over with.
You just want to start angry?
Yeah, I'd rather get the saltiness out now before we get to the chocolate side.
So you have salt there to salt your chocolate?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Need
All
some
right.
salty chocolate balls.
All right, and then first matchup.
There's no way that can be copyrighted, right?
Yeah, oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
First matchup, Runts versus Dum Dums.
This is a sad one for me. These are both high contenders in my eyes. Love Runts, love Dum Dums. Specific flavors on both sides. Love the banana Runts, love the root beer Dum Dum. But that's like the only Dum Dum that I really enjoy. Like, there are a couple others that are okay, but like, if it's not root beer, what the fuck am I doing here?
Enjoying life because you got something better than root beer?
So hold on. The reason that you voted Dum Dums over Nerds was because of the root beer Dum Dum?
He wasn't even listening to the episode while we were recording it last
Yeah,
time.
I was very clear about that.
Oh my God. It's like peeling a scab off a wound. Sorry.
Relieving?
No.
Infectious.
Painful.
Sometimes infectious, yeah.
Yeah, man. The root beer. Look, root beer barrels, root beer Dum Dums. Like, I love root beer. I don't love root beer, the drink, but flavor. Fucking love it. I'll go to town on some root beer Dum Dums. Yeah, but it's at the same time, it's up against what I think is a better overall candy, which is the banana Runt.
I'm glad that the assisted living facility you're in keeps root beer barrels at the front desk for you. You fucking old man.
Dude, root beer barrels are the shit, first of all.
Do you ever take a break and go to something crazy like Werther's Original, Matt?
I'm not a big butterscotch fan. I like a root beer barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck does someone even get a root beer barrel other than AARP meetings?
All over the place.
The country
Everywhere.
store in
Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
That's correct, actually. First of all, they also sell root beer flavored honey, and that's delicious too.
Okay.
So anyway,
Gross.
but I do think that my heart lies with the banana Runt.
I have never before, I think, agreed with somebody who was so wrong and stupid.
That's absolutely untrue.
I mean, like, you got to, it's like in math class, like, you got to the right answer, but you showed your work and it was all wrong. Like, your equation was just so off the wall, but somehow you still got to the right answer.
Or
His equation was just pictures.
Or
It's hieroglyphic.
I used an alternative equation and still, like, it still works because I still got there. If you're too stupid of a teacher to be able to understand my equation, that's on you.
Fair enough. I mean, ultimately, again, I think you're right because the banana, let's be fair, all the runs are better than fucking root beer Dum Dums, but banana runs are an S tier candy. I said banana Dum Dums, didn't I? I meant root beer. Anyway, either way, all the runs are better. Dan, how do you feel on this one?
Look, Dum Dums
Because you hated
are
both.
Dum Dums suck. They are
Hold on.
No,
the-
you suck Dum Dums.
no.
You're
Dum
doing it wrong.
Dums. Dum Dum. No, Dum Dums are not a good sucker. They aren't the best sucker. We discussed this in last week's episode.
And you were still wrong about that. I think that's
No.
gross. Blow pops suck.
Blow Pops are far superior than Dum Dums, but in this match, Dum Dums again should not have made it this far. Runts are better than Dum Dums. My vote goes to Runts.
You know, the only thing that would make a blow pop good to me is if they had a root beer flavored blow pop. That would
Oh
be good.
God, why would you want to ruin bubblegum like that?
You're like a candy masochist. You just love the torture of it.
Have you ever thought about the fact that Dum Dum's product is really just flavored saliva?
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Runts moves on here. Unanimously, it looks like.
So on that note, let's get into our next matchup, which is Skittles versus Twizzlers.
This is one that's like actually tough for me because again, this is the staple of the movie theater. Whether I'm going with the Skittles or the Twizzlers, and to me, it's neither one. Like the cherry is the most common, like the traditional Twizzlers flavor, but I prefer the strawberry Twizzlers. Skittles, the normal Skittles are good, but the tropical Skittles are the jam. So that is like the battle raging in my head right now. The tropical Skittles versus the strawberry Twizzlers.
How would you hold this? Let's say that you had two Twizzlers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you wanted to hold one in each hand. How would you hold those?
I'm spinning them like Michelangelo with nunchucks.
No, but you're trying to eat them. How would you hold the Twizzlers? Like you want
I'm
to take
not-
you want
not
to take a
doing
bite out
this.
of one and
Yeah.
then a bite out of
already-
another one.
he
And you want to
already-
do it very quickly.
Do you hold your Twizzlers like this? Like
I
you're
was
an
trying to make
Italian
it-
and you're angry?
I was trying to make it so that I couldn't be caught in the same trap that you were already
Uh-huh.
caught in. Is really what it was. I think my immediate answer to this, my immediate thought, I love Skittles. Tropical Skittles are good. I do think that wild berry Skittles are a little bit better. That's just me. I love when they're mixed together. The regular Skittles,
Ooh,
Aren't
I
my
haven't tried
favorite.
mixing them together.
dude, they make those bags. They make a bag of mixed wild berry and tropical Skittles in one location, one thing to put into your orifice.
Which one? Up to you.
Or if it's
Taste the
this.
rainbow.
Taste the rainbow, bitch. I'm not a huge licorice fan. Like, if I'm going to eat licorice, it would be Twizzlers. And
Or
I think
root beer, apparently.
if they had root beer flavored licorice, first of all,
Those are two old people things. I feel like it probably exists somewhere.
get in the comments. If they make root beer
Googling.
flavored Twizzlers, I would like you to send me some, please. On that note, I think we mentioned this in the previous episode, but I think the best Twizzlers are like the candy filled Twizzlers or the multiple flavors. Like, I don't ever want just one flavor of Twizzlers.
A&W does make a root beer flavored Twizzler. Just letting you know. You
Hold
can buy
on.
it on eBay.
Is it a Twizzler or is it a?
It's not a brand name Twizzler, but it is a licorice rope with root beer flavoring.
Okay. You can buy it on eBay, you said?
Yeah.
So
it's the
they
first
used
thing
to make
that
it.
popped up. Yeah. God knows how
And then-
old it is.
and
It's
then
I
from
didn't-
the 90s.
Their audience died of old age and they stopped making it.
I truly didn't hear that, and so I was like, "Oh, I might actually have to look this up." And then you said, "And that's on eBay, huh?" And I was like, "Oh shit, that's a little terrifying." Food poisoning in a can.
Bag.
Bag.
But,
Yeah, sure, it's a bag. Yeah,
It depends on when it was made.
that's fair.
No,
Because the canning technology was all the rage when it was new on the
In the
scene
50s.
when it was created.
All right, Skittles and Twizzlers. What are your thoughts, Scott? You've been oddly quiet.
I think that I think in high school there was this girl who used to get bullied by people calling her Skittles because supposedly her downstairs was so ranked she had to put Skittles down there to get her boyfriend to go get them.
And what was her name?
Skittles, that was her name. That's what people called her.
That's so mean.
It was. It was mean.
How long did you date her?
that's messed up. No, that's not part of my history. I don't know how that affects this debate, but
Does it taint Skittles?
that,
a
mem-
little bit?
that
Does it
memory
taint
popped in.
Skittles a little bit.
Oh
Sorry.
man.
You disgust me.
I saw an opening and I threw a Skittle in it. I couldn't help it.
There's one too many.
You crossed the line. To be fair, I should have never drawn the line. I don't know. I mean, these to me are both kind of like mid-tier candies. I don't think they're like my first. They're not my first grab of things on this list. I kind of have to think like specifically between these two, what would be my first? I mean, Skittles are nice in that you get that variety of flavor. You know, even in a single bag, you can get a variety of flavors.
I think that's the intention almost.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Whereas Twizzlers, you're committed to that single flavor throughout the whole experience. The pull apart part of the Twizzler is kind of fun though, or the ones that don't pull apart and you bite them and then you drink your drink through it. That's also fun. So maybe it's an experience thing.
And this is not going to sound any weirder than anything else we've talked about, like Sog Factor, but Twizzlers have a satisfying mouth feel, right? Whereas
Get that rope in your mouth.
Whereas I feel like the chew is satisfying.
I don't think you're supposed to chew on it.
A Twizzler?
Yeah. How do you eat? Do you just suck the Twizzler?
It's like a fucking.
You just
like a baby bird.
deep throat it like a baby bird.
Oh,
Just straight down like a sword swallower.
yeah.
Kicks his head back. It's gone.
I do need support whenever I eat Twizzlers, though.
EMTs are on standby. All right. Do we have votes? Do you guys feel strongly?
I think I've
I
got
have
a vote.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
I mean, I think that it's. I think you're batshit, man. Marshawn's going to come after you. Marshawn Lynch, Skittles.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite direction. Look,
Sounds
I
like it.
enjoy Skittles, but like I said, I like the satisfying chew that comes with the Twizzler, especially when they're like, fresh and they're soft. Twizzlers.
How often
They're
are you getting your?
fresh?
How
Do you
often are
get
you-
them right
Well,
off the
like,
line?
They haven't been like sitting on the shelf for a long period of time and have gotten hard. I like, fresh Twizzlers.
Scott, what do you think?
A freshly opened pack of Twizzlers. I see. I thought he was just going to the candy company, just eating it right off the line. Just
As it
It's-
cuts. That's the best way to get that straight in method.
Yeah,
You know?
it's
It'll
like
just
the
fall right off the conveyor belt.
it's like the donuts. The lights on, the Twizzlers are coming off the conveyor belt.
I think that if I look in a candy bowl and these two options are both presented to me, I am like 99% of the time probably going to grab the bag of Skittles over the bag of Twizzlers. I think the variety and flavor is important. I think the Twizzler is a hollow experience,
That's harsh
and
words.
the multiple flavors of Skittles. I knew a place that used to make cocktails with Skittles in them that were pretty good. I think Skittles wins.
All right. That is one thing we haven't really taken into account with a lot of these battles is how does it hold up with alcohol,
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you
Just
can
trying to-
drink your martini through the Twizzler straw.
That's fair. Make a cherry martini.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to bring all the factors, man. You know, you got
Or
to consider it from
strawberry
every angle.
daiquiri through the strawberry straw of a Twizzler.
True
So
facts.
anyway, where are we going next?
Do we want to finish off the candy side, or do we keep like we've been doing and hit some chocolate?
I think we got to hit some chocolate.
All right. Up next, then, Reese's versus Three Musketeers.
This is easy for me.
Three Musketeers because you love the nougat.
I don't mind nougat. I like nougat in some things. That's not the issue with Three Musketeers. The issue with Three Musketeers is it's not substantial enough. It's just chocolate, basically.
It's not supposed to be a meal. It's a candy bar.
I've seen you eat Reese's peanut butter cups. For you, it's a meal. I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to help with your caloric intake. It's Reese's. Reese's are the better of these two. They're clearly, by far, Reese's is better than Three Musketeers.
You're just going to completely discount the whipped nougat. Like it doesn't even matter to you.
In this particular matchup, the whipped nougat doesn't make. I'm the person who dislikes peanut butter. I'm voting for Reese's because it is the far superior candy.
Is there any matchup where the whipped nougat does win for you? Like if Three Musketeers was up against anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
It could probably beat Almond Joys. Not probably. It would beat Almond Joys.
Yeah, those have coconut in them. They're gross.
It could probably beat Smarties. I'm going to the other side.
I see. I figured that out. Yeah, I followed you.
Just make it sure.
The chocolate Smarties.
It's not a complicated
Never heard.
map.
On the current bracket, that's probably it.
Wow, you have so much disrespect in your heart for the Three Musketeers.
That's what I'm saying. I would put the Three Musketeers over Runts, Dum Dums, Pez for sure,
Yeah, well,
Lifesavers.
we know how salty you've been about this whole bracket.
I want
at
to
this
hold
point.
on. Let's back up. What are you all going to vote for on this one? Because if it's not Reese's, I'm calling bullshit.
Hold on. Why are we backing up for the vote? We discussed both options and then we progressed forward for the vote.
Because
Yeah.
this one is the clearest winner of all time.
To you. Look, like Scott said, you are disrespecting
I'm
the
not disrespecting shit.
goodness of the whipped nougat inside that delicious chocolate.
Look, the Three Musketeers were a medium for Christian propaganda, and I won't stand for it.
I would love to have Three Musketeers in my mouth right now.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
Show
just
me what it would look like.
bring it in firm and just let it stay there until it basically just melts in my mouth.
Both of you are going to vote for Reese's. There is no point in having this conversation in any way. I just need you to vote for Reese's, because if you don't vote for Reese's, you're lying. You're doing this just to piss me off. Scott's literal favorite thing to put in his mouth is shaped Reese's peanut butter.
That is not true.
Skittles.
No, I enjoy macaroni and cheese. Reese's is second, so yes, it does get my vote.
Look, I just think you're disrespecting
Just
Three Musketeers and the nougat, but because we are throwing all of the varieties of Reese's, like pieces, cups, shapes, the eggs.
You are
Reese's moves
the worst. You know what? I take it back. Not take it back. It was true in the moment that agreeing with Matt while he was wrong was rough. But now it's Dan. Dan took the lead. Dan took the lead in wrongness.
pieces.
It's Reese's
Yeah,
Pieces, not Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
You fucking southern piece of shit. What's our last matchup?
Twix versus M&M's.
You're such a bag of dicks. Like, I can't. Now you're just gonna do it to be an asshole. This is another one with some varietals, although M&M's clearly has the majority of the varietals. But there are a few additional Twixes, right? There's the regular
Left
Twix.
versus right.
There's left. There's right. There's dark chocolate Twix.
Mhm.
There's peanut butter Twix. There's cookie dough Twix. There are probably other Twixes.
There's probably weird Japanese flavors like
Yeah.
mocha.
I mean,
And-
matcha was the
and-
Kit Kat you're thinking of.
No, I said
Ginger,
mocha.
I would imagine, or
Yeah.
wasabi.
Yeah, octopi,
I
octopuses.
would try
Both
a
are
wasabi
correct.
Twix.
A wasabi Twix? There wasn't there wasabi Kit Kat? Anyway, sure.
But
we know-
M&M's has a tremendous number of varietals outside of that. Regular, peanut butter, coffee,
Gross.
mint.
caramel, mint, almond. I don't like mint and chocolate together.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Except for the
fan of that
Andes
either.
mints. That one's the exception.
Dude, Andes mints in the freezer, like when they're frozen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's
See, and the
choice.
funny
Yep.
thing is, the only like mint chocolate thing that I can do is Thin Mints.
Nope. Gross.
That's
Yep,
I can't
agreed.
even do Andes Mints.
I don't know what it is about Andes that makes them an exception. I don't like mint chocolate ice cream. That stuff's terrible.
Mint chocolate chip is the worst fucking flavor of
I
ice cream.
finally agree with you guys on something on this
We,
bracket.
and it's the worst possible,
It's the
most
disdain.
unpopular opinion that is out there, especially among women. This is not going to help us build up our female audience.
No, the only thing that can make it worse is if we talk about how moist it is.
Hey, M&M's, they got moistness depending on the varietal.
That's what
Do
one of
they?
the M stands for.
Moist and magic. Magic and moist.
Magic and moist.
Yeah, I mean the caramel ones definitely have, and the regular chocolate I feel like has a little bit of moisture inside that hard shell.
I mean, if you say
Moisture's
so.
probably not the right way to.
You just really want to keep saying the word, huh?
hmm
So I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? This is one that I could go back and forth because the one thing that Twix has going for it, by far, is that ice cream bar. Now M&M's has the ice cream cookie sandwich, but the problem is when you freeze M&M's, they just get hard.
So I think you're discounting one major thing on the M&M side, and those are the M&M cookies. Like I
Just
what-
regular cookies.
a sugar. I think it's sugar dough with M&Ms in it.
Sure. I'd prefer if I'm gonna do M&Ms in a cookie. I'd prefer the M&Ms in a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, it's like a chocolate chip cookie.
But I've seen both. I've seen the sugar cookie with M&Ms, and it's fine. It's good. It helps level up the sugar cookie.
They also have ice cream sandwiches with that too, which are good.
but that's what I was saying is the problem because those
Mm.
ice cream sandwiches, when you freeze those M&Ms, they just get
Just
hard.
rock hard.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. To me, this is an easy vote.
Okay. Why is that?
Again, well, because I just think Twix is the superior chocolate candy.
Oh.
If I'm in a store, there is only one type of M&M that I am going to buy over a Twix, and that's still not likely to happen, and it's the caramel M&Ms.
I
But
do like the caramel M&Ms. They're almost like Rolos, but with caramel on the outside.
yeah,
not
and
caramel,
a little
the shell.
softer to chew than a Rolo. But Twix is just great. The candy bar itself is strong enough to stand on its own, but then you throw in the unbelievable ice cream bar of Twix. That's S tier, God tier, next level chocolate divinity right there.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to disagree.
Oh, you
I
dirty
don't-
bags of...
I like the portability of the M&M.
Oh, my God.
I like it. I remember like grade school learning to count using colored M&Ms and the I feel like that's the utility of an M&M I think is a positive. I love a good peanut M&M. That one's my kind of go-to. But then you add in the variety of like peanut butter and the pretzel ones, and the crunchy M&Ms were really good.
Pretzels are gross.
Plus, You're gross. Plus, like the characters have kind of taken on a little bit of a cultural life of their own. I mean, M&M store is a thing. Can't discount the voice of J.K. Simmons as the yellow M&M. I'm going to go M&Ms.
And this puts me in a tough spot that I didn't want to be in.
No one told you to bend over like that.
My immediate thought was that Twix was higher ranking. I mean, again, I don't even like want the varietals. Like, I actually think that like peanut butter Twix, I'm never going to eat that. Dark chocolate Twix, I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate unless I'm drinking red wine, and I don't drink anymore, so that doesn't really do much for me. But the regular Twix and the Twix ice cream bar, I feel like initially I had ranked higher than M&M's. Then Dan said a magic phrase. Pretzel M&Ms. I do love... Did I say Dan? Sorry, I meant Scott.
Yeah.
Scott said something magical. Pretzel M&Ms. Anyway, I love the pretzel M&Ms, man. I love a chocolate-covered pretzel, and so them combining chocolate-covered pretzel with M&Ms, which is already good chocolate and not like... It's a good ratio of the salty to the sweet. And so then that raised M&Ms up quite a bit for me. The caramel M&Ms are good. Then Scott said one other thing, and that was peanut M&Ms. So I'm going to say my vote goes to Twix because I hate peanuts. I don't like peanuts in my M&Ms. I think that they're the worst possible M&M, in my opinion, followed by peanut butter M&Ms. But then the rest of them are banging. But they are bad enough that they bring it down. So I'm going to go Twix.
I know exactly how you felt, Scott, when you said that you agreed, but the way he got there was wrong.
There's a lot of that in this one.
Yeah, I feel like that. But
Yeah.
the right candy moved on. I was about to be so mad.
Means justify the ends, justify the means? Means justify the ends? That'd be weird.
Matt, I'm disappointed. You had a prime opportunity to make Dan mad again, and you squandered it.
Except that that's not what this is about, right?
Sometimes it's about that.
We've talked about what this podcast is about, and it's not about pissing the other people off. It's about enjoying camaraderie to get... Anyway, Twix moves on. Reese's. Next week, we will finish up this round with the second part of candy, Pez versus Lifesavers, Laffy Taffy versus Jolly Ranchers, and the last part of chocolate, Snickers versus Butterfinger, and Hershey's versus Kit Kat.
Those are some tough matchups.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the Pez versus Lifesavers.
that's not tough at all.
You might be right.
You may be right. I think Snickers versus Butterfinger is a tough one for me. We're thinking ahead.
I think that's a pretty, like, that could be a main event in many other years' WrestleManias. That could have been it.
Yeah. Had the drawing gone differently, I could see those two being close to the end. But anyway, that's for next week. This week, we want to thank you, as always, for listening to our babbling nonsense. We also want to thank Aaron O'Donnell from Aaron O'Donnell Music on YouTube for the track you hear at the beginning and end of every episode. Don't judge me. I stumbled over my word.
Babble.
Yeah. Find us on social media. We're on the Facebooks. We're on the Blue Sky. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. Well, 2/3 of us are on Twitch.
Hey,
Hey.
Dan got his fixed.
Yeah,
I stand by what I said. 2/3 of us have figured out how to use Twitch. So you can check us out on there. We're often playing video games together. Is that everything? I think that's an episode.
yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, until next time, I've just got word from my lawyers. It's now illegal in 36 states for me to shake my Laffy Taffy. I have been Scott.
Just a reminder, I am also known as Duke Nougat. And I'm Matt.
And I'm still sour and then more sour. Dan, I fucked that up.
Yeah. Bye-bye.